Hey friends, I'm your host, Dr. Elizabeth Ssemanda, the intuitive psychiatrist, and you are listening to Stepping into Soul Power. Today, we have a powerful guest. She is dedicated to helping others unlock their true potential, really healing from the inside out and reconnecting with their spirit. She's a leading psychotherapist, author, inspirational speaker, the founder of Urban Counseling Clique in Dallas, Texas. She's been a pioneer in the mental health field for over 12 years, and she's known for her direct and transformative communication style. Her strategies have empowered countless individuals and it really shifted negative thought patterns and led to embracing a more balanced life. Welcome to the show, Dr. April Givens.
Thank you. Hey, I love the introduction.
Well, I mean, the honor is all mine because you doing it. You doing it and you doing it well.
Thank you.
So we all have a story, and I'd love for you to share yours. What led you to doing this powerful work of empowering others in mind, body, and spirit?
Well, starting off school, my whole path was to be a pediatrician. That's what I wanted to do. So I went to school, biology pre-med was my major. I ended up graduating with my bachelor's of science in biology pre-med. So somewhere after that, I was like, okay, well, do I really want to go to medical school? What kind of changed my mind was having I took a histology class. And so we were working on a rat in the lab and we had to cut it open and give it, anesthesia and all of these things to knock it out. And my group in particular, we were like, no, you cut it open. No, you do it. No, you do it. The group ahead, they had already cut theirs open, was working on anatomy and everything else. And we just still over there. The professor had to come over and cut open our rat. So that's how much we were all like, okay. So after that, kind of experiment, it just led me to thinking like, okay, if I did go to medical school, I'm going to have to work on people, cadavers, like just in that, because I heard friends who were there already saying that they had this whole process of where they had to go through and do this and it stink and all this stuff. And I was like,
It sure does.
See, so I'm like, no, I don't know if I really want to do that, if I have the nerve, the stomach for that. So I salute doctors and surgeons all day for people who can just go in and do that stuff. So after graduating, I worked in corporate for a little bit and then decided to go back and get my master's in clinical mental health counseling. And so I felt like that was more of a bridge for me to be able to combine biology with mental health because it's all body, mind, soul. That was always my thing. Even in undergrad, my last project was natural ways to help with cancer. So I did a lot of research and I wrote a paper and researched all the different things and herbs and mushrooms and all these different things to help. So I always wanted to be able to utilize that. So mental health was like, okay, I like talking to people. I like helping people. So that was my path. So when going through school, learning the different things and techniques, I was really excited. So after graduating and getting my license and being able to practice, I started working in so many different areas because my whole idea was to gain as much experience and knowledge as possible. And I believe being in an environment teaches you more when you have hands-on experience as opposed to just reading a book. So I knew one day I wanted to start my own practice, but I wanted to get hands-on experience. So what I did, I started working in nonprofit managed mental health clinics just to learn the ins and outs of it. I worked with the insurance company. So I worked in a lot of different industries around mental health. So where I learned the ins and outs of billing, of insurance, of the different techniques, the different populations, working with homeless, substance abuse, jail diversion courts, working with ladies who had a history of sexual abuse, sexual assault, prostitution, different things. So pretty much every kind of avenue I've worked through it. So when I was able to go into my own practice, I came with a wealth of knowledge and experience because of all the other places that I worked prior to that. So then, fast forward after doing that, decided to go back to school and get my PhD. So that was something that was always on my bucket list. And I was debating whether or not I should do it. So then I was just like, okay, well, let's just do it and see what happens. And I think that was like the most amazing experience because as a result of that, I think a lot of more doors have opened for me, just having that level of knowledge. So that's kind of
Yeah.
my path.
It's something about that the DR really does, like,
Right.
really does, especially as a person of color, like it
Hmm.
really um can be incredibly helpful. And
Right.
not only do you have your own practice, but you mentor people,
Hmm.
and are really, really, I don't know if I should, um, they don't know everything that I know about you, but you are building community, which,
Right.
in this right now with all the stuff going on, is so needed.
Yeah. It is absolutely. I want to empower people to be great. That's the thing. So that's the overall premise. It brings me satisfaction to see other people winning. And I know everybody don't work like that. I don't have no jealousy or envy. I love for it to have as if I can get as many friends or people that I know to get there, we can all get there together and we can have fun and do things together. So that's my mentality in it. It's like, okay, let's take your strengths, what you have, using your expertise and your experience and turn that into a way to where you can capitalize on it. Why not?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so with all the changes, right now in the world, there's a lot of uncertainty, that some people are experiencing, um, and at least from with my practice, I see there are a lot of people who are riding the struggle bus. They're kind of struggling to find stability. What practices have you discovered help you stay grounded, centered during these times? And then what have you found to be, equally as helpful in strengthening and uplifting your spirit?
I think for me, staying connected, but also being disconnected.
Mm,
So I don't pay attention a lot, even though I'm on it and people think I'm on it all the time, but I'm not. I'm on social media, but I'm not on social media. I watch the news, but I don't watch the news. So it's more of a glance to kind of see what's going on, but I disconnect from it to where I don't let it overwhelm me. Because the thing about it is, I always tell people to focus on your immediate reality. What
mm,
is it that you can control in your life? Not the world's, not what everybody else's opinion is, but what's going on in your immediate environment. That's the most important because you can control that. I'm a firm believer in we create our own reality.
yes,
So my reality doesn't consist of all of the outside noise. I create my own bubble and I live in it. So that's what keeps me grounded and at peace. So then I start focusing on the things that I have to do in life and as well as spiritual, mental, emotional health, physical health as well. I exercise, I do meditation, all of these things to better me, to help me stay grounded and centered.
wow. So you're not just talking the talk; you're walking the walk.
Right.
Um, and so you're doing it. You're helping patients. You're also helping other, mental health professionals as well.
Mhm.
Um, And you've worked with quite a lot of people, and there are many of us who struggle. We all, myself included, struggle with limiting beliefs or sometimes negative thought patterns that might, like, kind of mess with that connection to our true self. Um, for someone who has trouble, connecting or just feeling connected to themselves, how can they begin to recognize and shift their thoughts to live much more in alignment with their spirit?
Well, I would say affirmations. That's how I started years ago, just
Mm,
really getting into the power of positive affirmations. and journaling, like really writing down. I think what really shift my focus and experience on just really centering myself and focusing on me and drowning out all external factors
Yeah,
was, what was the book? The book, one was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill,
that's a
but
good one.
also, I don't know if you're familiar with, some people may be familiar with Abraham Hicks. And
Oh
so
yes, yes.
yeah, so
All
listening
for
to
the
them,
law of attraction. Yes, yes.
okay,
Do it.
I love it, and so that was my journey. I remember watching the episode of what was the name of the show with when she used to do the sticky notes. Um
Like
I
Esther,
can't, Gabriel Union used to, the
yeah.
show that was on. I can't think of the name of the show right now, but she used to have the sticky notes, and she would write down affirmations and put them everywhere. And so I love watching that show. And there's a scene to where her driver, when she was going over to her ex-boyfriend's house, he was outside of the car and he gave her the name of the book. And so when he
Mm.
gave her the name of the book, I immediately started to Google it and I ordered it off of Amazon, and it
Wow.
was the Abraham Hicks book. And so I started reading that. And so it just changed my trajectory on my thought process, just being able to think differently. So it starts with mindset,
Mm.
you changing your thoughts and focusing on self improvement and going within and self healing. Like, what
Yeah.
is it that you need to heal from? A lot of
Mm.
past things, a lot of limits and beliefs, a lot of trauma, all of these things. So being able to self reflect, and self reflection is powerful. And a lot of people are scared to do that. Just really sit with themselves. COVID taught us to sit with yourselves. A lot of people couldn't do it, but that was an opportunity for you to be still and really
Yeah.
pay attention and really go within and learn about who you are as a person and what your likes are, and also looking at all the people around you, what, who do you have in your environment, or what do you have in your environment that no longer serves you, and being able to eliminate those things, those places, those people that are just toxic in your life.
Mm. Oh, so powerful. So much good there. For those people who don't quite know what an affirmation is, like what would you say to them?
So affirmation is a positive statement. So repetitive positive statements that either you listen to, you can pull up videos on YouTube, or you can create your own. I always work with my patients on creating, at least five positive affirmations that's tailored to your life that's going on. I had a patient yesterday, and she was saying how she really wants to build a better relationship with her daughters, and, not go through the same trauma that how her mom treated her, like with her daughters, relaying some of that to them. And so I told her, I said, well, we've been working on these affirmations and you've been writing them down. I said, how about we create an affirmation around that? I am becoming, or I am the best parent that I can be to
Yeah.
my daughters. And so
Wow.
she's like, oh, I love that. She said, I'm gonna write that down as soon as I get to my notebook. So tailor things to what it is that you want to work on in your life, and consistently repeat these positive statements to yourself.
Oh, that's so. I mean, it really is like um, a great tool for changing that inner critic that a lot of us
Mhm.
have. Affirmations, and then you mentioned something else, journaling, um,
Right.
can be incredibly powerful. I do want to go back to that the COVID pandemic, because you said something that was really important, that it was an opportunity. I know that for a lot of for some people, um, there was isolation, fear, a lot of uncertainty during that time. As we move forward, we're 2025 now. As a community, what um, and we're moving into uncharted territory right now. Like, um, are there any other lessons you think we should take from that time, and how might we take some of those lessons if we encounter, who knows what's going to happen, any future pandemics or natural disasters?
Right. Prepare yourself mentally and emotionally, and physically. Build up your immune system. All of those things are very important, but also Focus on what you can control. Try to limit the noise. A lot of things that we hear in the world is fear mongering. And a lot of the things that are not even true when you actually do deep dive research on it. But a lot of people don't take the time to do research and read things for themselves. They hear something, a soundbite, a clip, and they run with it. Detach from all those external stimuli because that's what they are to that was designed to cause you stressors or cause you fear, all these different things. Stop focusing on that and focus on your connection, your spiritual connection, your mental connection, you being the best version of yourself. That's it.
Perfect. Yes. Focus on you being your stuff, you being the best version, especially because you create your own reality. So,
Right.
um, yeah, very, very powerful. Um, I wanted to shift gears a little bit. The other thing I don't know if we had touched on is that you actually do quite a, you know, quite a lot of work with trauma. And, healing emotional trauma is powerful, but for some people can be a bit challenging. What are some holistic approaches that you take as you're helping people through their trauma journey?
So with trauma, what I typically do for some, and recently I've been doing a lot of hypnotherapy, and it has really been effective for a
I
lot of
love.
people.
For it. Yes, 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 yes.
I'm serious. It has been amazing. It's kind of shocking to me because I haven't done a lot of it in the past, even though I'm a certified hypnotherapist. It's just people were either scared or they wasn't into doing it. Now, recently, for whatever reason, there's been a shift and
Mm,
folks are requesting hypnotherapy. They're coming to therapy just for that they want to, go deeper. And so since I have been doing it a lot lately, just working directly with the subconscious mind,
yeah.
it has really opened up a lot of, trauma and healing for people moving forward. I had a client that I did it with the other day, and we were just going through the process. And at the end of it, she was just so emotional. And I said, "Where are the emotions coming from?" She said, "Because I was scared. I was following you throughout the guided process, but I didn't know where you were leading me.
Mm,
So it was a fear from my childhood with all the trauma that we were releasing. Just, I didn't know where we were going. Because in my sessions, I take people on the beach, I take people through doors, I take people through staircases, different things. So it's just me working directly with the subconscious mind. And so they
mm,
don't know, they're just following. But it's so powerful because after the sessions, typically when we meet again, it's just amazing to see how it's like the improvement,
mm.
almost the instant improvement of, hey, I just automatically do this stuff. These things don't worry me no more. I have a little bit more energy, or my thought processes have changed, and I'm on. So I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it really. I'm so glad to see that you do that as well, because I think there are sometimes, like, consciously, like, there's some things that we for whatever reason they're below the surface, and the hypnotherapy is such a great tool for, like, getting to the subconscious. um what are some of the, for those people who don't really know what it is, like, um can you help explain, like, what a little bit about the process, like, what if they were going to come in for a session, like, what that would look like?
For a hypnotherapy session or
uh,
just a regular session?
a hypnotherapy session. I mean, it would be good, I guess, for people who aren't clear on. There are a lot of people who aren't clear on, hey, what happens with therapy.
What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so with a hypnotherapy session, so to speak, it's just them showing up and being open and relaxed. So you have to be open to hypnotherapy in order for it to work. So, and most people are who actually are interested in it, or even if they're a little fearful, they're like, okay, well, let me try it. So just getting into a relaxed state, me walking them through kind of like a guided meditative state, but just a little deeper to where they go into a state of trance. And they're at some point, it's kind of like they release themselves from the body. And it's more of focusing on the mind, and any repressed or blocked memories start to resurface. And sometimes after the session, people can remember some parts of what I was saying, or sometimes they don't remember a lot of things that I said at all. They just know how they feel about it. Afterwards, it's like, oh, I feel, like my shoulders are more, straight. If we worked on something that was more muscle related, if because I have clients who have, some ailments, they may deal with knee pain, or they may deal with back or neck pain. And so sometimes through those hypnotherapy sessions, I talk about those things to release those things, from their subconscious mind, because I believe, pain starts in the brain, and it's a mind thing. So sometimes you can, if you know the correct strategies, you can be able to calm your mind enough to where you don't even notice the pain. Because that's typically what you do if you take a Tylenol or ibuprofen. It just turn off those different pain receptors in your brain. It's not fixing anything. After the medicine go away, the pain is still there. For people who have chronic pain, it's just a temporary relief because you've taken this pill that has blocked those receptors. So you can do the same thing naturally with your mind, and you don't necessarily need a pill to block the pain. So we kind of, go through those things. So that's more of hypnotherapy. But with regular therapy sessions, it's just, people coming in and seeing if they're a good fit. So I want people to know that they have choices. Just because you choose a therapist doesn't mean that that therapist may be right for you.
Mm.
So, vet people to make sure, okay, I'm feeling this person's energy. We have this synergy or so together, and then I think this person is someone that I can work with. But sometimes that may not be the case. And so you can politely decline and find someone that works for you. But typically a first session is just us. With me, my first session is more of, it's an intake, but it's also jumping into the issue. I don't spend a lot of time of sitting there asking questions and going through paperwork. That's not what I do in my first sessions. I typically send my clients the intake paperwork well before the session is scheduled. So they have to complete that before the initial appointment. So I'll glance through it and see kind of what they wrote on it. And then in our first session, I introduce myself, go over the HIPAA and, all of these things and suicide assessment. And then we jump into it. I'll ask some questions maybe that I've seen, the things that they have experienced or want to work on that's in their intake. But for the most part, we're diving in on their first session. So after 2 sessions with me, you have some tools. So as we continue to
Yeah.
move forward, you start to work on these things. So that's what I want. I don't want you to, because I feel like you lose people a lot of times in the first session. And that's what I tell my interns when I'm mentoring and I'm teaching them. I'm like, give people something to make them want to book with you again, because
Yes.
they don't have to. After the first session, if they don't like it or feel like they didn't get nothing out of it, you may not see them again. So if you spend a lot of time going over paperwork and asking these questions that they've already answered, like, that's not giving someone something who's in crisis, maybe in, because everybody's in crisis to them. So in that moment, they feel like, hey, I need some help, and I need some help right now. So start working with them on whatever issue it is that brought them to therapy in the first place.
Great advice. Absolutely great advice. Because I think, um, yeah, helping people solve the problem that they really are coming there for, like immediately, it really, really does make a difference. Um, I wonder for you, as you've gone through your journey, um, what has helped? I'm sure that there have been ups and downs. What's helped you keep going? What's helped as far as motivation? Just yeah, maybe we'll ask
Yeah, well, my faith. I'm a strong believer in Christ. I have my shirt I wear all the time to say Team Jesus.
that.
So that's what keeps me grounded. Like I always believe that everything is always working out for me.
Yeah.
And it does.
Oh, I
It
love that.
does.
Everything is always working out for me. It sounds like an affirmation.
It is. It's an affirmation, but it's also the truth. So a
Yes.
lot of times, if your faith has to be strong to where you don't question anything that happens in life, everything happens for a reason. And so for me, my faith is that strong to where I know that things will work. Things always have a way of working themselves out. And for my life, that has been the case. So I don't worry about anything and I trust God in everything.
Yes. Ah, well said. Well said. Um, Last question I wanted to ask is about soul power. When you hear the words stepping into soul power, what does that mean for you?
Stepping into soul power. I think more or less just going within, connecting with your soul, your mind, your body, your spirit, just everything. Just sitting with yourself. And that can be powerful within itself because a lot of times people question who they are. So understanding who are you? The power of I am.
Mm.
Whatever you say after I am, that's what it is. I am unique. I am amazing. I am powerful.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
soul.
yes. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I am is powerful. I am is powerful. That's why we got to be careful with what words we put after that. Um,
Right.
if our listeners, and I'm sure they will be, want to connect with you and learn more about your work, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram and YouTube. So Instagram is dr.aprilgivens. So Dr. April Givens. And on um, YouTube, it's Urban Counseling Clique. It's the name of my YouTube channel. So they can definitely, follow me and learn a lot of different things, tips. I provide a lot of information on both of those channels, just about, overall well-being. I have a book that I've published called Strategies and Tips to Improve Your Overall Well-Being. That's on Amazon. That's in Barnes and Nobles. Anywhere that you can buy your books, you can find um, that book. And it's a journal, but it also has a lot of pertinent information for women and men, relationships, all of that. And there's spaces to where you can journal in there as well.
Oh, well, everybody, go check the book out. Go on Amazon. Go to your local bookstore. Go on YouTube. Check. Please, please, please check it out. She's amazing. I mean, we only scratched the surface. We only scratched the surface. She is amazing, and I know we'll go on to do phenomenal things because she's a phenomenal woman. Um, I'd like to thank you, Dr. April Givens, for being on the show today. You're just incredibly insightful and uplifting, and I know that our listeners are going to are already walking away with practical tools and inspiration to connect with themselves and engage with their spirit.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome. If you haven't heard it yet today, I appreciate you. The soul in me honors the soul in you. If you'd like to see more episodes like this, please subscribe or click here. And friends, if this spoke to you, leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you.